Age-related macular degeneration, or AMD for short, is a big deal when it comes to eye problems. This January FDA approved a new light therapy for AMD, which is expected to be cheaper. I am going to discuss 7 methods to prevent AMD. It's the #1 cause of vision loss for people over 65. AMD messes with the macula, which is the center part of your retina. When it gets damaged, you start to lose your central vision. This makes it hard to do things like read, watch TV, or recognize faces. But don't worry, it doesn't lead to total blindness if you take action early. There's something else that's really important to know. Smoking is the biggest risk factor that you can actually control. If you smoke, you might be doubling your chances of getting AMD. So, if you want to protect your eyes, quitting smoking is one of the best things you can do. First, if you smoke, quit. We've already talked about how smoking increases your risk, so quitting is one of the best things you can do for your eyes. Let's talk numbers for a second. About 1 in 7 people over 50 have some signs of AMD. Of those, about 17% will have vision problems because of it. When you look at people over 80, the numbers get even higher. About 30% of them have early AMD, and 10% have the more serious late-stage AMD. Now, if we hop over to the United States, the numbers are pretty big, too. A study in 2022 found that almost 20 million Americans were living with some form of AMD in 2019. That's a lot more than they thought before. About 18.34 million had early AMD, and 1.49 million had the late-stage version that really threatens your vision. So, who's at risk? Well, age is the biggest factor. The more birthdays you've had, the more likely you are to get AMD. Women are more likely to get it than men, and it's more common in white people. But it's not just about getting older. Your family history plays a big role too. If your parents or siblings have AMD, you're more likely to get it. Second, know your family history. If AMD runs in your family, make sure you're getting regular eye exams. Your eye doctor can spot signs of AMD before you notice any vision changes. Now, let's talk about the different types of AMD. There's early AMD, intermediate AMD, and late AMD. In the early and intermediate stages, you might not even notice anything wrong with your vision. But your eye doctor can spot signs during an exam. They look for little yellow spots called drusen under your retina. These drusen don't always cause problems, but they do increase your risk of vision loss later on. Third, eat your greens. Leafy vegetables like spinach, kale, and Swiss chard are packed with antioxidants that can help protect your eyes. Fourth, consider taking supplements. If you're at risk for advanced AMD, ask your doctor about a special blend of supplements called AREDS. These aren't a cure, but they can help reduce your risk of getting severe AMD. This supplement includes several vitamins, mainly vitamin C, E, lutein, zeaxanthin, zinc, and copper. Good natural sources of vitamin C include lemons and fruits of the orange family. For vitamin E, go for avocado, almonds, sunflower seeds, olive oil, spinach, wheat germ, broccoli, peanuts, and turnip greens. To boost your intake of lutein and zeaxanthin, incorporate leafy greens like kale, spinach, and Swiss chard, along with other vegetables such as peas, broccoli, and Brussels sprouts, as well as citrus fruits. To increase your intake of zinc and copper, consider incorporating foods like oysters, nuts, cashews, sunflower seeds, dark chocolate, liver, leafy greens, shiitake mushrooms, legumes, beans, chickpeas, and avocados into your diet. Wait, there is more, but do not forget to hit the like button if you have found this video useful so far. Late-stage AMD comes in 2 forms, dry and wet. Dry AMD is the slow and steady type. It happens when cells in your retina start to die off, leaving patches of missing retina. This leads to a gradual loss of vision. Wet AMD is the more aggressive type. It happens when abnormal blood vessels start growing under your retina. These vessels are leaky, and they can cause sudden and severe vision loss. But here's some good news. There are new treatments on the horizon that could really help people with AMD. In January 2025, the FDA approved a new light therapy or type of infrared light device for dry AMD. This is a big deal because there haven't been many effective treatments for dry AMD before this. The new treatment is called photobiomodulation, or PBM for short. It works by shining specific wavelengths of light into your eyes. This light helps the cells in your retina work better. It increases energy production in the cells, reduces inflammation, and helps get more nutrients and oxygen to the cells. In a clinical trial, more than 58% of people reported improvements in their vision after the therapy. PBM is different from the treatments we've had before. Up until now, the main things we could do for dry AMD were taking vitamin supplements and getting eye injections for later stages of the disease. But the eye injections can be risky, and they're not very pleasant. PBM could be a game changer because it's non-invasive, and it might be able to slow down the disease or even stop it from getting worse. But wait, there's more. In late 2024, researchers announced a new eye drop treatment for dry AMD. This is exciting because eye drops are much easier to use than injections. The new treatment works by targeting something called toll-like receptors, which play a big role in how AMD develops. In tests on mice, the eye drops protected retinal cells and reduced retinal degeneration. If this works as well in humans, it could be a much more convenient and less risky way to treat AMD. Now, let's talk about what you can do to protect your eyes from AMD. There are several healthy habits that can help. Fifth, wear sunglasses with certified UV ratings. You need to get eyes protected from both UVA and UVB. Good sunglasses protect your eyes from UV and blue light, which can damage your retina over time. Sixth, keep your blood pressure and weight under control. High blood pressure can restrict blood flow to your eyes, which isn't good for preventing AMD. Lastly, the seventh, use an Macular grid to check your vision at home. This is a simple tool, like a graph paper, that can help you spot changes in your vision early on. Remember, early detection is key with AMD. Even if you don't have any symptoms, it's important to get regular eye exams, especially as you get older. Your eye doctor can spot signs of AMD long before you notice any vision changes. During an eye exam for AMD, your doctor will dilate your pupils to get a good look at the back of your eye. They might also use special imaging tests like retinal photography or optical coherence tomography, OCT. These tests can show early signs of AMD that aren't visible to the naked eye. If you do have AMD, don't lose hope. While there's no cure yet, there are treatments that can help slow down the disease and preserve your vision. For wet AMD, there are medications that can be injected into the eye to stop the growth of abnormal blood vessels. For dry AMD, the new light therapy and eye drop treatments we talked about earlier could be game changers. Living with AMD can be challenging, but there are ways to adapt. There are lots of low vision aids available, from simple magnifying glasses to high-tech devices that can help you read, watch TV, and do other daily activities. Many people with AMD learn to use their peripheral vision more effectively to compensate for the loss of central vision. It's also important to take care of your overall health if you have AMD. Eating a healthy diet, staying active, and managing conditions like high blood pressure and diabetes can all help slow down the progression of AMD. One thing that's really important is to monitor your vision at home. You can use an Macular grid, which is a simple tool that looks like graph paper with a dot in the center. If the lines on the grid start to look wavy or distorted, or if you notice dark or blurry spots, that could be a sign that your AMD is getting worse. If you notice any changes, contact your eye doctor right away. AMD is a complex disease, and researchers are still learning more about it all the time. But the good news is that we're making progress. New treatments are being developed, and we're getting better at detecting and managing the disease. If you're worried about AMD, the best thing you can do is talk to your eye doctor. They can assess your risk, check for early signs of the disease, and help you come up with a plan to protect your vision. Remember, your eyesight is precious. Taking care of your eyes now can help ensure that you'll be seeing clearly for years to come. Consult your healthcare professional before changing your medication or lifestyle. None of the information provided by this video is a replacement for your physician's advice. Thanks very much for watching this video. Subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video.